up on the source, we will take a look at a number of different ECU programs and better ways to save your money.
These stories and more are coming up next. Thanks for joining us on The Source. I'm Whitney Sessoms.
And I'm Allison LeBlanc. The Hired program at ECU helps students prepare for the professional world. The program introduces students to resumes, interviewing techniques, and more. Jack Hanley has more on the story.
The Hired program, run out of the East Carolina University Career Center, gives students a taste of real-world job interviews in hopes of enhancing their ability to perform in a professional setting.
The Hired program, and the acronym stands for Helping Individuals Reach Employment Destinations, is a program that was started about 6 years ago to help students get the experience of a real professional, real-world interview in a circumstance that was actually safe and without all the high stakes of applying for your first real job.
A critical goal of the program is to provide students a safe forum to practice their interviewing skills.
I definitely recommend that every student does the Hired interview because they will look at your resume, they'll tell you what's wrong with it, what you should take off or put on there, and it'll make you less nervous for a real interview.
Hired interviewers are chosen on a voluntary basis from a number of business sectors around North Carolina. This allows each student to get the most real-world experience in their given interview.
So we asked them to, in effect, select a company and a job that they would interview for and do a little description of that company for our interviewers to read and to actually think about in terms of, I'm going to apply for a position as marketing specialist for Google.com or whatever it is. So it becomes a very real situation for them.
Well, my Hired interviewer walked me through a lot of questions that would be asked in a real-world interview. Questions like, what is your biggest weakness, which when you actually go to an interview is really hard to answer. So they'll give you examples of types of answers you can give that will help you.
Ashley's positive review of the Hired program mirrors that of many other students. It seems that this program is a hit. This is Jack Hanley reporting, The Source.
The Second Life program provides a unique experience for ECU distance education students. Interacting in a virtual world gives the students the opportunity to expand their horizons. Arthur Howell has more.
That the virtual world has become one of the largest and most popular forms of media. With every console generation, games become more expansive and better looking. Popular titles such as World of Warcraft, Metal Gear Solid, and Half-Life have set the bar for the ultimate virtual experience. Here at ECU, the Second Life program is attempting to bridge the gap between fun in the virtual world and traditional learning. I sat down with the program's head, Sharon Collins, to find out more about the program.
It's a 3D virtual world program built by residents that inhabit it, which means that anyone that creates a Second Life account can create anything they want. The advantage of a face-to-face class is we're doing simulations, so you can take a nursing exercise, for instance, and provide a simulation for that, or you can do a computer class and provide a simulation, so you get a lot of more interactive learning. For the distance education classes, it's become a lot more social for the students. They actually can meet other avatars inside Second Life. You can work on group projects. You don't have to go and meet at a specific location. And again, the simulations provide an enhanced atmosphere for them too, and an environment that they can work in and do group sessions as well as meet with their instructors or their faculty member. We have a website. It's ecu.edu/ECU Second Life, and they can contact the team there, or they can contact me, Collins S, at ecu.edu or 328-9126. And we work with the faculty member. We take their course content, their syllabus, and kind of do a redesign. It does take a little redesign of the class in order to put it in this kind of environment and do some interactive sessions for the students.
Although Second Life is yet to reach its full potential, its possibilities are staggering. Some estimate that this program may be used to market research and even promote up-and-coming musical artists. For more information, you can visit the Second Life website at www.ecu.edu/ECU Second Life, or you can contact Mrs. Collins herself at the Self-Help Center located downtown on 301 Evans Street. This has been Arthur Howell, The Source.
Have a talent in the arts that no one knows about? A new open mic organization at ECU has been created to help showcase these talents. For a closer look, here's Janae Powell.
VIP, aka Belinda and Derek Fasad, you already know, president of the ENT, president and founder of the ENT, actually the Emerging New Talent, ECU's premier student entertainment organization here on campus.
Better known as the ENT, this group showcases individual talent in an open forum that is comfortable for students and the community alike.
I wanted to give him all of my love and act as if a fragment and show him the things that cannot be seen. Like the quiet storms when rain falls gently on my pain, that's when I went in to love him.
Involved with ENT is their need to get out in the community, or not just reach, just students, but just everybody, anybody who has talent.
Although the group is only in its second year as an organization, they are making much progress in getting their name out and heard.
It's a great group, you feel me? We reach out to other students and, other artists in the city. So, ENT it's a great movement. Everybody should join, I think.
For information about the Emerging New Talent, please visit the LaDonia Wright Cultural Center on campus or visit facebook.com/ECUENT. I'm Janae Powell with The Source.
Coming up after the break, we will learn about a particularly influential ECU professor and learn about how some students like to talk sports on the edge.
This and more when we come back.
Film has become a popular medium for storytelling, and with the help of experienced faculty members such as Michael Tierno, ECU students are using their creativity to make their mark. Mary Dixon tells us more.
Film industry is a career path sought out by those who have a deep and abiding love for the art of storytelling. Students seeking to go into the field can take one of two paths. You can write or you can film. Most people have the misconception that movies don't happen except in the most exotic of locations, but locals should look no farther than their own town for experience. Michael Tirano is a professor at East Carolina University from New York who has been passionate about movies and stories since he too was a student.
It's College of Staten Island, Potter City University, New York, and went for filmmaking, and it was actually a cinema theory degree, criticism theory, and then I got my MFA at City College of New York in filmmaking. I made a feature film called Auditions. It was picked up by Netflix. It's out there now. Did shorts before that, but that was my first feature film that I sold.
Recently, Tirano filmed an independent film mostly on ECU's campus called Nocturne.
Nocturne, as I knew Claude Debussy is my favorite composer. I really wanted to write something around that music. The only plot I had was a piano-playing girl and a guy who likes her and tries to help her musically. Pre-production was about 2 months. Shooting was about 25 days. I just sent it to Sundance. That was the first one. It was a work in progress. And I just found out I didn't get in. They got 3,800 features submitted. They selected 115, which is less than a third of 1% of what gets submitted. Next film festival I'm submitting to is called South by Southwest. Again, it will be a work in progress, but hopefully we have a better shot.
Tirano is also the chair of ECU's annual film festival, in charge of putting the festival together and finding independent films that will make the festival better than the last.
Well, it used to be the Blue Moon Festival. We did that, and then we launched the new 2 years ago. Big outreach. And we had more and more submissions. Like last year, we got more than the year before. We had submissions from all over the world. Saudi Arabia, Japan, Turkey, a lot from the United States. Of course, we get a lot of local films. But then he's right, and then
I'm Mary Dixon, The Source.
Forget the normal rhetoric. 2 ECU students are putting their own spin on sports journalism. Anthony Romano introduces us to the men of Bold Sports Talk.
Internships are an important part for all college students and the start of a career. If you're interested in radio or sports writing in general, you may want to consider WZMB Bold Sports Talk. This radio show and website was pioneered by Kevin Jones and Nabil Amadea, and these two sports junkies have a different take on sports, a hilarious one.
We're a little ridiculous at times, especially Kevin. He tries to go above and beyond, and then we play well off each other. I'm more level-headed, and he's sort of a big head guy, you know.
We try to disagree. Well, that's. I mean, we don't try to, but no one wants to hear people agree on the radio.
I think our goal always is to make people have strong emotions towards us, whether it's hate or dislike, or love or hate, you know.
Bold Sports Talk is a progressive radio station implementing the podcast and taking its shows into public venues in downtown Greenville. The approach is more family-oriented. This strategy hopes to keep the listeners listening and gives them an experience to remember.
To get buzz, to generate buzz, and to give people a good time. I want them to associate, I went out to the Bold Sports Talk thing, and it was really fun, and it was entertaining, and they talked sports, but they did other things too. When we go out and do these live appearances, we don't want to do all sports because we know that's not everyone. We're trying to get other people involved in it, and if you listen to our show, it's not fully sports either. We talk about stuff that goes on in our lives. We talk about stuff on campus.
A lot of local stuff, yeah.
If you can show that you did that in a job interview with other people, like, look, we were in the Greenville community, we made a difference, and that's what we're trying to do. It's fun for us too.
Next time you have the chance, listen in to WZMB 91.3 Bold Sports Talk every Monday and Friday from 12 to 1, and be looking for them downtown. Don't forget to check out their podcast. For The Source, I'm Anthony Romano.
Coming up after the break, better ways to build your savings and running tips to help you hit your stride.
This and more when we return.
The urge to splurge can be a tough obstacle to overcome, but with the economy looking a little better, it's important to set aside savings for short and long-term goals. Karen Kaifa has tips to save in today's Consumer Watch.
Americans are saving more now than before the recession, but there's always room for improvement. And the good thing about savings is that starting small can add up big over time. Get going by setting up a goal for yourself or your family. Then put a plan in place, especially if it's a long-term goal like retirement. Look at all of your expenses and create a budget that allows for savings. And don't be afraid to change things from time to time.
This is not a set it and forget it. You need to revisit that plan periodically to make sure that the money is growing in the way that you want.
If you just can't help yourself from spending when there's money in your pocket or in your checking account, let the bank help you avoid temptation.
Ultimate best way to get around all of this is an automatic savings. And you can set this up with your bank to have, say, $25 a month taken out of your checking account and put directly into a savings account.
And keep in mind that when it comes to savings, it's never too early or late to get started. For Consumer Watch, I'm Karen Kaifa.
If you have recently taken up running or are considering it, here are some simple steps to help keep you going strong and injury-free.
Liz Parrish and her 16-year-old daughter Lauren are part of a 5K training program geared toward new runners.
We decided that it would be a great thing we could do together.
Sports medicine podiatrist Dr. Perry Julian says some arch, shin, and heel pain is normal when starting out. But new runners can prevent an injury by following these tips.
It's important whenever you start a new activity, whether it's running or tennis or bicycling, that you start off gradually and increase your intensity, increase the duration, increase the frequency on a gradual basis.
And flexibility is just as important.
When certain muscle groups are tight, you then ask other muscle groups to overwork.
He says number one is the calf stretch, but don't forget the hamstrings, quadriceps, and upper legs. Also, what you wear on your feet may make all the difference.
Usually we recommend somewhere between 200 and 400 miles or 3 to 6 months to replace your shoes.
But if an injury does occur?
Any injury that lasts longer than 7 days or gets worse or reoccurs should probably be seen by a sports medicine specialist.
As for these ladies,
their goal is really to get fit, to be healthy. And that mentality kind of says, I just want to finish, and we just want to have fun.
Fit plus fun, a combination for success. For today's Health Minute, I'm Susan Hendricks.
Coming up, the story about a disabled man's unique invention, and find out how one girl is using music to reach out to our troops. If you happen to be a Taco Bell fan, here's some information that may motivate you to take up running. Where's the beef? Taco Bell says there is no question what its meat contains and that a lawsuit alleging bogus beef has been dropped. Attorneys say they have withdrawn a lawsuit alleging Taco Bell beef was mostly not beef. Lawyers in Alabama brought the class action lawsuit in January and claimed that the lab test showed the fast food chain's beef was actually only 35% pure. The plaintiffs said they wanted Taco Bell to stop saying its products contain beef. Taco Bell's leadership steadfastly denied the claims, saying the allegations in the lawsuit were absolutely wrong and that no money was exchanged and no changes will be made to any Taco Bell products or advertising. The law firm confirms that the lawsuit has been dropped, but they claim they have pushed Taco Bell to make some changes.
A Florida man is hoping to change the way America uses wheelchairs. Florida resident Brian Davids designed a new motorized wheelchair after he was severely injured in a car accident. Davids injured his lower back and lost the use of his legs, motivating him to design the motorized vehicle from scratch. He says his creation can travel up to 6 miles per hour with a range of 18 miles. In the future, he hopes to work with a nonprofit group to manufacture the motorized chairs for injured military service men and women.
A CNN hero is still going strong. Anderson Cooper has more on how one young woman is giving back to U.S. troops.
Kaylee Marie Radzaminski became a CNN hero in 2008 when she was a sophomore in high school. At the time, her organization, Tunes for the Troops, had shipped more than 200,000 CDs and DVDs to U.S. military members overseas. It was Kaylee's way to say thank you.
Tunes for the Troops has gone so far these past 5 years. There's absolutely nothing that I would change because it has made a difference in so many people's lives.
Today, Kaylee's on a military ROTC scholarship at Tennessee Tech University, which has become the new home of her organization.
Tunes for the Troops is now part of the Service Learning Center here at the university. There's basically a staff and student workers that volunteer for community service hours. This way, Tunes for the Troops will be able to continue even once I graduate.
This week, volunteers gathered to pack the latest shipment of CDs and DVDs, which included a special milestone, the group's 1 millionth disc.
One of the guitarists from Leonard Skinner showed up at our packing party to actually pack the 1 millionth CD.
Number 1 million.
Once I graduate, I'll be able to know that Tunes for the Troops is in some wonderful hands. And who knows, once I am an officer in the United States Army, I could potentially benefit from Tunes for the Troops getting CDs and DVDs. And that's, pretty cool.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Source. I'm Whitney Sessoms.
And I'm Allison LeBlanc. Be sure to tune in next time.